This training material is the property of Accessible Tech Planet. Use of this material is restricted and permission must be sought before use. Do not sell or reproduce in any format without the permission of Accessible Tech Planet.
This is lesson 13. Correcting mistakes on the Microsoft Word app. When we type, we sometimes make mistakes, and that's because there is no one that is perfect. When you make that mistake, how do you go about correcting it as a beginner? There are two types or two ways you can correct your mistakes, and I'll do my best to cover everything in this tutorial. So, without wasting no time, let's get into it. I have a Microsoft Word open on my PC. What I will do right now is to navigate to it.
Task switching, document one word. To move to an item, press the arrow keys. Document one word, edit.
This is a blank document. I will type on this blank page and we'll learn to correct mistakes. When we talk about correcting mistakes, like I said, there are two ways. The first method is the manual correction. Yes, that's the one you have to do yourself. The second one is automatic correction. That's the one the computer will do for you. The computer is smart enough to spot your mistakes, tell you, and also help you correct it. But all of these things, you have to do it by issuing instruction to the computer. The automatic correction is what is termed as spell checker. So, I'm going to type something now and intentionally make some mistakes.
B-O-I.
I just typed B-O-I instead of B-O-Y. Now, after typing, if I'm reading this and I discover that, this is B-O-I instead of B-O-Y, how do I delete the I and put Y? That can be done in two ways. I can do it using the backspace, and I can also do it using the delete key. We're still talking about the manual correction. So I'm going to use the delete key first. If you want to use the delete key to delete something, you must read characters by characters until you get to the particular character you want to delete. So in this case, I want to delete I. So I'm on I now, and I'm going to press my delete key.
Space.
At the press of my delete key, you heard computer announcing to me via JAWS space. Space is the next thing that is after the Y. So when you use the delete key, JAWS pronounces the letter after the one that has been deleted. If you mistakenly press it again, it will delete that letter that was pronounced, and also it will go ahead to pronounce the letter after that one for you. So as it is, I has been deleted. I'm just going to type the letter Y.
Y.
At the press of that Y, if you listen very well, you heard a bell. On Microsoft 2016 and above, when your spelling is correct, that is when you have corrected one mistake or the other, Microsoft will give you that bell. Maybe it's a bell congratulating you for correcting the mistake. I don't know. But if you are using Microsoft Office 23, 2007, 2010, there is no such feature. I'm not even sure it's available on 2013. So let's check it now.
O-B-O-Y.
B-O-Y. We now have boy. Alright. Now, let's say I want to take away this O and turn this boy to buy. Yeah, let's just assume this boy is a mistake. You want to type the word buy, and I want to use the delete key to delete it. And I want to use the backspace key to delete. First is to move my cursor to the alphabet after O.
O-Y.
That's it.
Yankee.
When you want to use the backspace to correct something, your cursor must be immediately after the letter you want to delete before you press the backspace. So the letter after O is
Y.
Y.
Yankee.
Don't forget, I want to delete O, so I'm going to press my backspace.
O.
If you listen, just says O. So when you use the backspace, JAWS would pronounce the letter that has been deleted. Unlike the delete key, where JAWS would pronounce the letter immediately after the deleted one. So I'm going to type U.
U.
And let's read now.
U-B-U-Y.
That's it. That's how to do manual correction. No matter the mistakes, you can correct it manually this way, just using the delete key and the backspace. I'm going to continue typing.
Space. I-S is N-O-T not A G-I L-L-R Giller period. Enter. B-O-L-A Bola I-D-I-D space D S M Y my S I S T E R sister period. Enter. T O L A Tola I D.
Now, if you listen to what just happened, I should have typed S and I type D. When you are typing on Microsoft Word, things like this will always occur. So if you mistakenly press the wrong letter, like I have just done, D instead of S, you can just simply press your backspace and it's going to delete that wrong letter you have typed.
D.
D has been deleted. You can press S now,
S.
and of course you have the word is instead of ID. So when you are typing and you make mistake that you can immediately identify by yourself while you are still typing, you can also use the backspace to delete it. But if you are working on something that you realize after you must have typed, then you have to take into consideration of the backspace and the delete key as a means of correcting your mistakes. So right now I have typed something, and let's say I'm not even aware that there is a mistake in what I have typed. This is now talking about automatic correction, and like I said, in computer you call it spell checker. Microsoft has that feature. It is present in all Microsoft's Office package from 2003 to 2019. So the document is here now.
Bola is my sister.
And to activate that spell check, you press F7. Don't forget, like I always tell you, if you press your F7 or even any of your functions key to do anything and you don't get response, it means that you need to hold down the FN key if you are using a laptop. So I'm going to press F7 now.
F7. Spelling GILR GILLR. Suggestion GIL GILL. To activate, press spacebar I.
Now if you listen very well, the computer has identified the first mistake in this document, telling me that I wrote something that is not in the dictionary. So the inbuilt spell checker works with the dictionary. However, let me mention here that your style of writing, that is the dictionary you are using, will determine the correction you are going to get. If you are using the UK English, the computer will correct your mistake according to that particular language. If you are using US English,
Document 1, edit.
it's going to also use the US English dictionary to handle your correction. So,
Escape.
when you press this F7 and the mistake has been identified, just like this.
F7. Spelling GILR GILLR. Suggestion GIL GILL. To activate, press spacebar I.
The next thing you will do is you will tap to the suggestion lists.
Ignore all button to add button to act GIL 1 of 5. GILL. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
Good. This is the suggestion list. So you can use your up or down arrow to pick the correct word.
GILS 2 of 5. GILLS.
No.
Guild 3 of 5. GILT.
No.
Guild 4 of 5. GILD. Gall 5 of 5. GALL. Gills. Gill 1. Gills 2 of 5. GILLS. Gill 1 of 5. GILL.
Good. There is no such word, that I'm looking for here, because I'm actually looking for girl. But the 5 suggested words here, I can't find girl there.
Gall.
So In this case, you are going to manually go to where to correct it. If I press escape here,
Escape. Document 1. Edit.
and I read,
Pi is not a. Bola is my sister. Pi is not a. Bola Tola is. Bola is my sister. Pi is not a misspelled Giller.
that's the line that I have that mistake. So let's see.
Period. Black Bola is my sister. Period. Sigma it. Misspelled Giller.
That's it. So I'm going to correct it.
Miss I L L R L R L L I G I L L Lima
Let me use the backspace.
L L I G I L R Romeo L I R period L Microsoft Word dialog. Spelling and grammar check is complete. OK button to activate. Press space bar. Space. Print view. Edit. Bola is my sister. Tola is.
So I have corrected it manually myself, and that's what you do sometimes when the computer cannot identify the right word for you. You see the reason we have to learn both, because sometimes you just find yourself falling back to the first method, So let's do it again.
F7. Microsoft Word dialog. Spelling and grammar check is complete. OK button to activate. Press space bar.
You can hear that I just pressed F7 and it is telling me that spelling and grammar check is complete. So that's to tell you that there is no mistake in this document. But I want to type more.
Space. Edit. Period. Blank. Enter. A D O O E O L L K U B A N J O Adia Cabanjo M O D E L Model S C H O O L School I is N O T not A E R E Here period.
So I just typed something. Let's try the F7 again.
F7. Adia Cabanjo. A D E O K U B A N J O. No spelling suggestions. To activate, press space bar.
Good. Adeokubanjo has been identified as a mistake. If you look at it, that word is correct. But the reason it has been identified as a mistake is just simple. Yeah, because it is not an English word. So when you use indigenous word, I don't know if I can just put it that way, if you use indigenous words that are not English, it is from your own language, whether you speak Ijebu, Ilesha, Igbo, Hausa, Ibibio, I don't even know any language you want to speak. Once you know that that particular word is correct and the computer is identifying it as mistake, you have to ignore it. So let's start.
All button to add button to activate. Ignore once button to activate. Press space bar.
Good. All of these buttons, you have the ignore once, you have the ignore all. I'm going to explain it. If you know that these mistakes that computer has identified occur more than once, like if you have typed Adeokubanjo 5 times, if you choose ignore
once button
ignore once, it's going to correct it is going to correct the current one. Then you have to go to the next one Computer will do that for you automatically, and you keep pressing the ignore once, button. But in order to have everything corrected at once, that is that Adeoku Banjo, the whole 5 of it, so you choose ignore all.
Ignore all button to activate. Press spacebar G.
If you listen well, computer already tells you what to do, via JAWS. If you want to activate it, you press the space bar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Space. Microsoft Word dialog. Spelling and grammar check is complete. OK button to activate. Press space bar.
Alright, the spelling and check grammar is complete. To activate, we have to press space bar again.
Space edit.
Okay, I still want to type more to show you another thing.
Period lang. Enter. I T it is GODD. God autocorrect. God GOD space DOG space GOO DD. Good autocorrect. Good GOOD.
If you observe what has just happened, I intentionally made that mistake. I wrote GODD. Yes, for good. And computer has corrected it for me automatically. This is also one feature that you have in Microsoft 2016 and above. If you are using below 2016, you are not going to get such. And most especially, if you are still using Windows 7, you will never get it. So the auto correction will take care of that. Let's continue typing.
O 2 S C H O A C S C H O L.
Now I'm going to press the F7.
Shoal F7. Spelling Shoal SCHOLL. Suggestion Shoal SCHOLL. To activate, press spacebar G.
Alright, this is a mistake and it's an English word. So you are going to go to the suggestion list by pressing the tab key.
Add button. Shoal 1 of 3 SCHOLL. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
If we are going to have the right word.
School 2 of 3 SCHOOL.
Good. The second word from the suggestion list is the right word. So what you do is just leave your cursor on it. And when I say leave your cursor on it, it means you should just scroll to it with your up or down arrow. Once you are there, you have to look for a particular button called change button or change all button. If you use the change all, it's going to correct every other misspelled school in the document. But if you choose to use the change ones, it will only change the correct one. So let's
change button to activate, press space
this is
bar
change
C.
button.
Change all button to activate, press space bar L.
Change all button. So I'm going to use the change button.
Change button to activate, press space bar C. Space. Microsoft Word dialog. Spelling and grammar check is complete. OK button to activate, press space edit.
So that's it about automatic correction. Before I will end this recording, I need to let you know that it is important to always do it after typing, because the automatic correction will not only even correct your spellings, it will correct your grammar errors, those grammar mistakes that we make. Talk of extra spacing, talk of concord, talk of what else? Any other grammatical error that you can talk about in English, it will correct it for you. Even wrong use of paragraphs, yes, in your document will also be corrected. So if you have a document sent to you by anyone, or even the document you have prepared yourself, it is always good to make sure that you run the spell check on it. And when you do that, of course, you can always be guaranteed of sending out a document that is error-free, maybe to your office, or you want to send it to a friend, and when that friend is reading your document, he or she would enjoy reading instead of just reading documents that is full of mistakes. So I would advise you always do it when you type. I want to believe that you've been able to learn how to carry out the manual correction and also the automatic correction while you are using the Microsoft Word. Keep learning, and as you learn, keep growing.